Wake up, really gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Yo, set your affirmations, aspirations. I got shit to do, the aftermath of preparation. Good food, good mood, blood in circulation. One step at a time, yeah, that's how you make it. Set a goal you control and the steps you take them. I try to pick one thought, have some concentration. And if I make a mistake, it's called education. I try to do this every day, call it replication. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 So life ain't easy, yo, I think there's a reason, though. Ups and downs, just like every different season, yo. Sometimes I'm high, other times I'm barely breathing, though. I always gotta fight and hide from the demons, yo. Negative thoughts are poison, they rot. Head full of flies, so here come the clouds. They'll never stop unless I can swap all the bad for the good in my head when I'm lost. Yeah, so I'ma fake it till I make it. Positive thoughts are overtaken, I got patience. One day at a time is how you operate a cadence. A flow, you grow, you show yourself a foundation. Stay away from all the shit that causes temptation. I know that I like to do it cause it's sensation. I live my life in my head like a narration. Don't expect greatness, do my best, man, I'll take it. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Wake up, really gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Hey guys, what is up? Welcome to the Weekend Wake Up Sports Talk with me and Philly Halftime. And we got a special guest here, Lindy Endzone, who made his return to YouTube and is now the newest member of the Hardcore Sports Network. How you doing, Lindy? Long time.
Yeah, it was a long time, and I spoke about it in a couple of videos for my own that I posted to my channel before they come over here, and it's been humbling and a good feeling to regather and establish my passion that I had 2 years ago. It's been that long, so yeah, it's great to catch up on everything again.
Mm-hmm. Halftime, how about yourself, man?
All right, doing good.
Doing good. I've been seeing comments about your new Flyers thumbnail. It looks good.
I'm changing my thumbnails, hoping it don't mess nothing up, my rhythm up.
I don't think
doing good for basketball and football and chip. I'm gonna try something new.
Yeah, and Angel says, welcome back, Lindy. Manion chance, all right. Fire Manion chance. What is up, Blaze? What is up, man? You guys want to hear something funny? So yesterday on my podcast, Fly Like an Eagle podcast on State Park Sports Entertainment, instead of Sean Manion, I called him Sean Marion. I'm telling you, I'm gonna keep on doing that for the longest time.
Sandman.
Sandman, yeah.
Sandman from Spider-Man.
It's still sports related, at least.
Yeah. Yeah. Because
You see him with the Green Bay shirt on? He looked like
Yeah.
Sandman from freaking damn Spider-Man.
yeah. Yeah, it's like this. I had it on my thumbnail on another show. So let's get talking about it, man. Sean Manion. Lindy, how do you feel? I know you made a video about it, which is going to premiere on the network at 12 p.m. So how do you feel about the hire?
Well, the biggest talking point that I spoke about in my video was it's just trying to come up with a realistic establishment of expectation going into this season.
Yeah.
I don't blame people for speaking on the fact that this has been a roller coaster of inconsistency for the football team as to whether they want to have an experienced play caller, whether they don't, this, that, and the third. So I would say with the addition of Josh Grizzard at
Mhm.
the passing game coordinator role, well, number one, Kevin Patullo, I think we know at this point he's not even going to have his previous role before he got elevated. Um, and then, yeah, I know, AK, I know in terms of the Mavs, that's a sensitive subject for me too because of the Luca trade, but I digress. But
Yeah.
I think what I pointed out in my video is the fact that the there is three key areas that I am looking toward for Sean, Nick, and Josh collaboratively to try to fix in this offense. Number one, they were pretty good in time of possession. They were just outside of the top 10, which you do you do want to achieve that as best as you can. And the Buccaneers were pretty good with that as well from where Josh came from.
Mhm.
The second part was starting field position. They were bottom 8 in the league. So when you're when you're trying to set up sustained drives and you're still deep in your own territory, it kind of allows the defenses to pin their ears back a little bit and maintain a strong sense of pressure on you. So that's not ideal from an offensive standpoint. And the biggest statistic that I really need them to improve upon is the money down. Third downs are
Mhm.
one of the most important for an offense in the NFL, and for rather both sides of the ball. If you're good on third down defensively, you're going to control that game for most of the time through all four quarters. Offensively is a big problem. The Eagles were 24th last year. So if you're
Yeah.
going three and out, time and time again, and we watched it on a weekly basis almost. They're good for their first 15 scripted plays, and we've seen this before. Like they're good during that. And when they get in the end zone, they were number one in the league. Almost 71% red zone efficiency. But you got to get there more times than not to really win football games. So if you're all the way at the top in one category in terms of scoring the football and you're all the way towards the bottom and keeping yourselves on the field to do so, it's really not a recipe for success. So in conclusion to that, I really need to um, see the improvement in those areas to have a better buy-in, but there's still a lot of questions left to be answered. And the combination of free agency and the draft is going to answer most of those.
Yep. All right. Halftime. How do you feel about the hire? Me and you were talking about it before.
Like he's a quarterback coach for Jordan Love, so he could probably handle, Jalen Hurts. Um, he had never caught a play. He was
Mhm.
a quarterback in the NFL, but he has never caught a play. And you have to look at that and call it out what it is. But like once again, you look at that, people think he's going to be the next Andy Reid. But Andy Reid called plays in Green Bay too. When we got Andy Reid, he did call plays. He didn't
Right.
call them as much, but he did call plays. He knew what plays were going
Mhm.
to. So, like, people got to keep it real. Like, the dude never called plays. So, we get to find out what we have from him. Then we got that guy from Tampa Bay, probably to help him out a little bit. And then said he could try to figure something out. But if you don't run the ball efficient when how you're supposed to use Saquon Barkley, and everybody knows how good Saquon Barkley can go against this line. Like, why are we not running him right? You're run up the middle, run up, like, run him on the end. As soon as you run him on the ends, he goes 30 yards. Hey, you might want to do that a little bit more often. But, that's why I had issues with this offensive coordinator. The playing, like, if I can predict the plays and I'm just a fan, I was a defensive coordinator going like, yo, dude, this is going to be like this. We're going to just handle them and we'll beat them. And that's how it was. It was like, those, like, predictable what our offense was going to be like.
Mhm.
And that hurts Jalen Hurts. Then they say Jalen Hurts is a problem. Then they say A.J. Brown's a problem. And, I just think, it was our offensive coordinator was the problem. Everybody got mad because an offensive coordinator don't know what the fuck he's doing. He don't know how to.
Right.
He don't know how to use his pieces right and put them in the right position.
Mm-hmm. All right. So for me, before I go to the chat here, there's a couple of things. One, you got to look at what he did with Malik Willis, right? Malik Willis was just like a backup quarterback, and now look at him. He's about to get paid. Like Malik Willis is becoming that quarterback that you could rely on in need when your quarterback goes down. And two, this is preparing for the future because how many offensive coordinators have we had in the last 7 years? 6,
6.
something like that. Yep, 6, 7. But
Jalen's had a lot more.
I know. So they're just trying to find the guy that they can rely on for years to come, and maybe he's got good potential ahead of him. So that is the main reason that I'm excited about that, just for the future. And like what AK said right here, I'm going to sit and wait and see fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. I'm going to wait. I'll know after week 5 if we
Yep.
get something or not. They have to prove. They got to prove they want it. Yep. So it's gonna be
You
you
just
just gotta
gotta stop
wait and
saying
see.
he's hitting me. Read already. The dude didn't even step foot in the goddamn locker room yet.
Yeah, I gotta tell you, halftime. I was seeing that on X/Twitter
Yeah.
way too often for me, and it's just one of those memes where we got to be careful because history doesn't always repeat itself the exact same way.
That's what they want. They want it so easy and no.
Mm-hmm.
And you know how
Yeah.
long it took us to get an offensive coordinator because nobody wants to be here because of if it's Nick Sirianni or if it's Jalen Hurts, and everybody's saying different things. Like you're not the fly on the wall. You don't know what's really being said. People do just stir up shit just to stir up shit, But what
Mhm.
happens if it's Jalen Hurts? What happens if it's Nick Sirianni?
Well, to Adam's question here, a lot of Packers brass and those in Green Bay had a lot of high praise for him that he is head coaching material, and we're going to see that development in this promotional role for him because he's stepping up from his previous role into this one. And I made the reference in my video, and we remember it was the start of the 2022 season, and and I pointed to Nick Rallis as the linebackers coach, and I think he was only 29 or 30 years old at the time, and everyone took it as that this is a guy that's around the age of some of the players on the football team, and there's a better relation there from a player's standpoint that instead of him being age out of the league and what have you, it's almost like he's a part of that locker room just as the players are around his age. So I made the same point for Sean Mannion and Josh Grizzard to a degree because they're still in their early to mid 30s. So I'm thinking that there's going to be a little bit of a like a gravitational connection there, especially with the quarterback, because that's his primary focus for this upcoming season. And I do appreciate the fact that Sean was good enough in college to be to be thought of as a third round pick when he was when he was in the league playing as quarterback. Now, you can argue that he wasn't good enough to have a consistent starter role, and it really depends on his draft profile and what front offices thought of him at that point in time. But nonetheless, he's the prototypical size of quarterback. I think he's like 6'5", 6'6", 230. Who was the last quarterback, or two quarterbacks for that matter, that we remember who were Philadelphia Eagles, between Carson Wentz and Nick Foles? And the two of them, respectively, in their own rights, were pretty proficient in terms of pocket passers. One of the biggest criticisms of Jalen Hurts right now is that he's not a very good pocket passer. And you have to take the combination of all of the seasons that he's played so far, in which, well, one side of the coin says, well, yeah, he is a decent pocket passer. I mean, you see what he did in 22. And then you look at the opposite side of the coin and say, oh, 2024, they tried that for the first 4 weeks and they took it away from him. So
how's it going, AK? How's it going?
So again, that's what I'm hoping from Sean and Josh combined, is that I don't want them to be too comfortable in what Jalen does well. I want them to build a comfort in what Jalen doesn't do well, to build some versatility in his game in terms of processing the routes that he's comfortable throwing to, instead of on the boundary or outside the numbers that he constantly does. And it just makes defenses easier to cover that because they know where Jalen's going with the football. So yeah, in hindsight, that's my overall goal here, in hoping that Sean and Josh can achieve this. Although the biggest caveat,
like that for even when he was in college, everybody's trying to do it, but you're not getting through them.
Well, the biggest caveat here that everybody has to remember is that, unfortunately, for what it's worth, it's still Nick Sirianni's offense. That's the biggest downside, is that it's still Sirianni's offense. So, I mean, yeah, that's where the level of expectation has to be drawn, is trying to figure out where it can be realistically set.
Yep. So really quick, we're going to answer this question, and then there's a comment I want to bring up in the chat in a bit. Do you guys think that battles in the NFC East will be better and more intense between the four teams? Does this lead to the types of battles like in the 80s and 90s? The Giants have made a big move by getting John Harbaugh into their organization. You already know what he's capable of. And then with the Commanders, I'm not exactly sure. Their team has to get younger because they're the oldest team in the league. Then it's the Cowboys. Like, it is what it is. So maybe this year I could see the Giants make a leap, but I don't see it with the Commanders. Halftime, what about you?
I wish. I really wish, because it was fun back in the day, in the 80s and 90s, of how, like, the Giants and everybody were, and it was a battle. Yep. I like the battle. It's like, every year, where the Eagles are going to be, where Dallas is going to be, where Washington's going to be, and where the Giants are going to be. And if it's an actual battle and for our division, it would be fun, or funner, I guess.
Oh my God, it will make it much more intense
with the Dallas fans and the Giants fans and all.
Yeah, it makes the NFC East the best division in football once everyone's competing throughout the whole season and nobody's quote unquote tanking.
Right.
So I just had to do that. And there's a comment here I want to bring up. Blaze, he's trying to troll, but this is what I was going to say to this.
That's
Sean Mannion.
Blaze, come on.
But Sean Mannion is now the scapegoat. He's going to be the scapegoat for Nick Sirianni again. And I'm getting tired of that.
Problem, though. He's always getting an scapegoat.
I know. I hate it. Lindy, what do you have to say about that with the scapegoat?
My one thing is, have you ever met a guy that just got done winning the Super Bowl? The next year, puts a bunny in the locker room for positivity.
Mhm.
Fucking Super Bowl trophy up there, asshole. You want positivity? Like, yo, last year we just won the Super Bowl. That's the positivity. Not a goddamn bunny. Sorry about that.
Too
But,
much of too much of grasping at straws. I mean, at first it's the flower analogy, and now you go from a flower to a bunny.
Yeah,
Pretty much.
Almost like he's trying to.
That drove
Yeah.
me nuts. I wanted him to go so he said fucking flower and watch it bloom and grow.
Yeah. So what do you think, Lindy? Is Sean Mannion now the scapegoat?
It's for me. It's pretty obvious to say that it's way too early to tell. Again,
Okay. Yeah.
there's too many questions that we need to answer first, and
Yeah.
like my other primary goal is, you really can't set that stage until you know what this roster looks like going forward, especially offensively, because like the biggest key free agent on the offense is Dallas Goedert. Like,
Yes.
what are you going to do with Dallas Goedert? Because I mean, I don't know what the free agency pool is going to look like in terms of the position.
They said
But
they're not bringing him back.
and I sure hope they do, unless they decide to draft a tight end in the first or second round, like they have, like they have in the
might have to
past.
do that because first of all, he can't stay healthy.
He was healthy pretty much the year. Most of the year, he was pretty much healthy. So this is the best season that he's had.
Our offensive coordinator just didn't know how to use him.
He was the best player on our offense
You got a
consistently.
chess piece you don't know how to use, like freaking that big motherfucker.
I think at the most Dallas has I think the most games Dallas has missed in a season is 7, and then there was another case where he missed 5 games. But when he is on the field, you're supposed to contribute outside of the receivers. I mean, like we remember Zach Ertz's departure,
Yes.
and for the longest time, it was 1A and 1B at the tight end position. And we knew in 2019 that Dallas Goedert was starting to arrive. And I remember some, ridiculous passes between him and Carson Wentz, and he's getting these one-handers and everything. I'm like, you know what? When it comes time for Zach Ertz to leave, I knew we were set. So we're obviously not in this position right now whatsoever, because the guys behind Dallas right now, especially Grant Calcaterra, I do not trust any one of them to come in and be the number 1 tight end. They just don't have the material for that. But I do want to speak upon that previous comment that Ramel Gladney was talking about with the division.
Okay.
I don't see it quite yet. Only because the two biggest things to me are, dare I say, I think the Giants right now are aside from the current things going on right now with other matters, but what have you, I think the Giants are in a better position at the moment than Washington and Dallas. The Cowboys have roster issues to figure out, especially on defense, because the majority of the year they were talking how the defense was historically bad.
Yep.
And I remember there was a season in recent history where they also had a historically bad defense. So I'm not sold on the Cowboys in terms of their roster right now and what Schottenheimer decides to do, especially them poaching Christian Parker from us for the defensive coordinator role. And then for the Commanders, it relies on 2 things: the health of Jaden Daniels,
Right.
and where they go in terms of their coaching staff. So Cliff Kingsbury is gone, and Joe Witt Jr. is gone. So Dan Quinn had to elevate some of his guys on that staff to replace them when when they were terminated. So I don't think it's going to be I think it's going to be another season where it's just two teams that are fighting for the NFC East crown. I don't see all four being very competitive.
Yeah, I just love it when everyone's competing for that title in the NFC East. It makes it so much more fun. Like this year for the Eagles, it was basically ours since the beginning of the year. It was just like not really a competition. And we had like a step back year too, and there was still no competition for us. So I'm like, bring on the competition, bring out the best. Let's get the best teams throughout the entire season and let them battle it out. That people tune in for that. That is why everyone tunes in to the Dallas Cowboys. Everyone wants to see them lose. So bring down the NFC East and let's get this up.
It is pretty unfortunate to speak of a football team having a down year that still won 11 games.
I know, right?
we still won 11 games and it was a down year. But
Yeah,
like
it's a disgraceful
again,
year.
that's
After you just got done winning the Super Bowl, you should have went higher in the playoffs.
Yeah.
It's hard to get back to the Super Bowl, but you had to be higher in the playoffs than one and done.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and
that's where
that's the hard part about it. Like, you just got done winning the Super Bowl.
That's where you have to be careful.
You didn't use your offense like you used it last year. It's like it's from night and day.
Yeah.
If you speak the void of context when you need it, you're not going to sound very smart. So it's like, yeah, the Eagles won 11 games, but how did they really win those 11 games? the defense bailed the offense out way too many times.
Block punts, block field goals at the end of a game. Like, come on.
Jordan Davis blocking it and then returning it to the house. I mean, you can't make that up. You can't make that up.
Wasn't that a 98-yarder too?
Yes.
There was people that didn't want Michael Clay to return.
He's running down the field to win the game.
Yeah.
There was people that didn't want Michael Clay to return.
Yeah. I know.
I mean, for how many different performances that the special teams did a decent job, and I think it was outside of the talking about that fumble from Xavier Gibson. I think it was against Dallas, and we should have won that game. But everyone's blaming Michael Clay. Well, it's like I'm trying to put players out there to make plays. If they're not making plays, how is that on me? It's like the coaches aren't out there, the players are out there.
If your play call is screwed up, then that's a different story.
Mm-hmm.
If the player is not making your play, it was just fucked up all year long. Come on, our kicker has been missing. Dude just missed another kick.
I could say the same thing for that comment with the Denver Broncos. You want to talk about luck? The Broncos had a not a monstrous amount of luck, but they had plenty of it.
Broncos.
And unfortunately, their luck ran out when they lost Bo Nix.
Yeah,
and
they would have won. I think they would have won to the Super Bowl. I was calling them to win the Super Bowl, but then Bo Nix got hurt. I'm like, what the fuck am I going to do now? I still
everyone believed in Bo.
Yeah, that was terrible though. That was absolutely terrible. Because it's not even.
We got another Bo Nose. How about that one?
I mean, it's not even
football.
It's not even the Nick Foles story either. Like, you lost him for the AFC Championship game.
Yeah.
That's wild.
I wanted to bring this up to you, Lindy. Speaking of the AFC Championship game and with the Patriots, do you think they had an easy schedule this year? Or do you think they were really good and, that's like, they were just a good team, deserved to be the Super Bowl?
I thought they had an easy schedule.
You think they did?
In the playoffs, look what they did. They pulled it out in the playoffs, and you got to start saying, well, maybe they are the real thing. The way
Well,
they
I would.
played, even though they were awful games, they still pulled it out where they won the game.
Yeah, Lindy?
Well, I would say the first question is, did the Eagles benefit from an easy schedule in 24 when we won? It's almost the same story, but at the same time,
That is true.
the at the same time, the Eagles struggled for 5 weeks or so, and that bye came at the exact right time for things to be turned around because they primarily started with a focus on what Kellen Moore wanted to do, and unfortunately, it wasn't working because Jalen Hurts was committing too many turnovers, and they decided to be like, you know what, let's take it out of his hands a little bit, to the detriment of criticism that still exists with Jalen in terms of a quarterback. But if I mean, it could have
These are
very well been the scenario that if they don't make that change, the Eagles probably don't win the Super Bowl. I mean, but again, if they don't make the change, then that also exposes some of the incompetence that individuals in the coaching staff don't have. So the
Mhm.
fact that they did, it's a good thing to recognize it, but it's also a bad thing at the same time if you can't work through the issues to try to add another feather into your hat. But
Mhm.
lo and behold, Saquon Barkley was historic that year. And
Yeah,
if it isn't broken, don't fix it.
correct, correct.
Ultimately, that's what happened. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
So this is the schedule for the Patriots right here. They won against the first game. They lost to the Raiders. Second one, they beat Miami.
How did
They
you lose to
lost
the
to
Raiders? See,
Pittsburgh,
that's what I mean. Like, how did you lose to the Raiders? The Raiders are fucking horrible.
and then they beat Carolina. They beat Buffalo. Buffalo's are good. New Orleans, Tennessee, Cleveland, Atlanta. Atlanta had a decent year. Tampa Bay, New York, Cincinnati, and New York again. Then they lost to Buffalo. So I'm not
Like
going to
they,
say
like
you
I
play the
said, they had
teams
an
that are in
easy
front of you.
year, and everybody was going because they had an easy year. And look who they had to play.
I
Tampa
mean, you
Bay,
play
New York.
you play the teams that are in front of you. So it's just like
It's an easy schedule. Can't knock it.
I'm not
It's an easy
knocking
schedule,
it.
though. It's like every year we go here and we look at our schedule. Is it an easy one or if it's a hard one?
Yep, they lost to Buffalo. They beat Baltimore. That was a big one there.
The
They,
Patriots should have won that game against the Bills. I watched that
yeah,
one. They should have won.
yeah, but that's just the schedule there. I'm not knocking it, but
So
hey,
so
they're
they
back in the
split.
Super Bowl.
Yeah. So they split with Buffalo, and then you have a close game with the Saints that shouldn't have happened. You had so some of the close games that shouldn't have happened was the Saints, the Falcons, the Buccaneers to a degree because it was later in the year and Tampa was kind of falling off offensively, and their defense to Todd Bowles' standards was really bad, especially in the secondary. The Bengals, they should not have struggled because they just can't seem to figure out how to protect Joe Burrow. So yeah, I mean there was quite a few games in there for the Patriots to where it shouldn't have been as hard for them to get a win, but nonetheless, you could argue the same thing for the Eagles last year, especially in the games where Saquon wasn't as impactful. So it's really a give and take, and the best thing to say there is it's not about how you start, it's how you finish. So
Yeah,
the strongest teams finish the strongest, and the weakest teams finish as losers. So
yep.
unfortunately for the Eagles this year, they finished as a loser. Yeah, and now they have a chance to finish strong for 26 because really they have no choice. And that was the biggest thing for me when I made my video. I says in my opinion, this with Sean Mannion, this was not the type of move that I would have wanted to make personally for a team fresh off of a Super Bowl with their window still wide open. Like you can't go season in and season out with this type of inconsistency, especially when you're trying to keep some of your players happy that want to be impactful. And there's too many factors that hold them back outside of other teammates. It's not a winning formula.
It's not. Let's address this one right here from Coach. If they aren't a good team based on the schedule, what does that say about the AFC as a whole? Halftime?
It's kind of messed up because the AFC used to be dominating, and now they're going down where it is not dominating anymore. Like
Yeah.
the AFC always had great teams. Buffalo, Pittsburgh, all them teams are always great teams. And now it's not that way no more. It took a downfall because of the players are in there. And coaches or whatever you want to look at what's wrong, whatever happened to those teams that took a slide. So yeah, like they used to be back in the day, good, but now it's taking a drop. A drastic drop. So that's how I look at it. But it's crazy that you see that big of a drop, but
yeah. Lindy, what about you? What does that say to AFC as a whole?
I would say you start with the premise that when you go into a new season, the strength of schedule for a team's matchups going into the year are based on the previous season's record for every single conference team. So at that point, you have to take it with a grain of salt because you don't know how good or not these teams have improved upon the previous season. And again, when you start with the mentality that it's either any given Sunday or the NFL is a week to week league, some things can change at the snap of a finger. So in one breath, you can say, well, the Patriots or any other team, what have you, had a cakewalk to the Super Bowl. But in the same breath, you can say, well, they can't help that at the same time because you play who's in front of you. So it's really a two sides of the coin conversation yet again. And, like for the Eagles in 24, we couldn't help who we played against. And the fact that you remember when we played the Rams in the regular season, Saquon Barkley had one of, if not the most historic game of his career. I mean, he just destroyed the Rams in LA. We get to the divisional round, and it's pretty much almost the same thing all over again. So if you meet the team in the regular season and then you meet the team in the playoffs and that team does not make the proper adjustments to stop the one player that destroyed them the most, whose fault is that? so in terms of the Patriots, whether that happened to them in the same way or not, they can't help if their opponents do or don't make adjustments. So really the strength of schedule is based upon the quality of the team's competence that they're facing week in and week out. Patriots can't help that.
Yep. And I just gotta say this about the Patriots. With Drake May having a year that he's had, despite the teams they're playing against, my God, they got a good one in Drake May. I can't wait to see him what he does next year. I'm telling you, I'm really excited for this kid.
Yeah, I mean, when you talk about the MVP conversation, again, it's mostly a quarterback's award, much like the Super Bowl MVP is. And rare occasion, you'll have somebody else. Like I think, what was it? Julian Edelman got the
Julian
award, and
Edelman.
then
Yep.
I think Cooper Cup ended up getting it in the Rams Super Bowl against the Bengals. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure he did.
Yep.
But uh, crap, I lost my train of thought on where I was going with that. I'm sorry.
Drake May
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
MVP.
So so the quality of it is the fact that he's putting up these numbers against, against Matthew Stafford, that they're two of the top favorites for the offensive player of the year award. Now, you can easily say that Stafford is going to get it because he had a ridiculous amount of touchdowns, and for him to still be doing this at 37 years old is remarkable because it's like Aaron Rodgers territory and Tom Brady territory where they were still playing phenomenal in spurts into their early 40s. But on the other side of it, with Drake May in his second year, much like almost like the Jalen Hurts story in 22. It was Jalen's second year as a full-time starter, and the team gets all the way to the Super Bowl. So it's almost a similar story with Drake versus Jalen in that regard. So that's where a lot of the credit in lies. But one of the biggest benefits for Drake is having such a fantastic coaching staff around him.
Yeah.
You bring in
Yes.
Mike Vrabel, that the Titans ended up giving up on for whatever reason to make themselves happy was not a good
Yeah, they should
decision.
never gave up on him. That was a dumb thing. I was like, what are you doing? Like, you gave up on him too fast.
And then you got one of the greatest play callers offensively all time in Josh McDaniels that Drake is working with to elevate his game even further. But the biggest thing I think is going to get in Drake's way is that he puts the ball on the carpet way too much in terms of fumbles. So I think that would be the biggest deterrent from winning the MVP is just his lack of carefulness in terms of turning the football over. But I would say it's almost equal for the two of them to win the award. But I would say all things considered, because there's no playoff performance consideration, it's a regular season award. I would probably have to say that Matthew Stafford is going to get it, but it'll be close.
Yeah. Matthew Stafford is definitely going to get it. He started out this year not as good, but he finished the year strong. I mean,
Mhm.
Matthew Stafford, you cannot give him so much time left on the clock because he will make you eat it. Matthew Stafford's always been that guy to make the right throws at the right time. Matthew Stafford, wow. I'm telling you, didn't he win MVP before, or is this his first time getting it?
I thought he did.
I thought he did it
I thought
once.
he did. He did with Detroit.
Oh, he did with Detroit, I think. Yeah. Yeah, I
He
think
did it
you're
with
right on that
Detroit.
one.
Not totally sure, but I think he did it with Detroit. Before he got
Oh,
before he got traded. Before that trade went down.
that trade. Oh my God. Look at it now.
Detroit's kicking himself in the ass. Like, dude, why did we do that?
Dude, it's just like that trade. Now, Jared Goff is not a bad quarterback at all. He is
No, he's a
not.
good
He's
quarterback.
actually, he's one of the best in the league. He's pretty much
Well, he's
top
better than Carson
10.
Wentz. Better than Carson Wentz. We were supposed to get him.
Yeah. Can you
That's
imagine
a
if we
kick in the
actually
nuts,
take?
ain't it?
Yeah. Can you
We
imagine if
moved
we
out to
actually
get
did get
Carson
Jared
Wentz,
Goff?
and Carson Wentz took it. But
Yeah.
that shows you every draft pick doesn't always pan out.
You
Well,
could say that about any sport. Yeah, Lindy?
Yes.
Well, Stafford did throw 28 consecutive touchdown passes without interception this year, and finished with a passer rating of 109. So that's pretty difficult to
Yeah.
difficult to top.
It kind of helps when you have arguably one of the best wide receivers in the league in Puka and Cooper Kupp. That's your
Yeah.
1A, 1B. I mean, that helps a lot. So I'm gonna ask
Are you
guys
talking
to
about Devontae Adams?
Devontae Adams. My bad. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're 1A, 1B. So I'm gonna ask you guys this. I was talking to my dad about this a while ago. If you had a chance to get Puka Nacua or JSN, would you take them over AJ Brown?
Yes.
I'm
I
right
would.
there with
I would. But I mean, I'm not going to knock. That's not a knock on AJ Brown. But I
It's
would
not
take.
at all. No, it
No,
definitely is
it's not
not.
a knock on AJ Brown. But I would take them. I would take them over AJ Brown. But AJ Brown's still one of the best receivers out there.
Yeah.
My problem with that question is that neither Puka or JSN are big-bodied receivers. So the question realistically would be, would you take them over Devontae Smith?
I would.
I would if I can say that for if I could say I'm going to give up a big body like AJ Brown for one of them, I'd definitely do it for Devontae Smith. Even though, like, see, everybody's like Devontae Smith's the number one wide receiver, but AJ Brown gets double teamed. AJ Brown's more physical than Devontae Smith. So I would, but I know a lot of fans are probably not going to like that one. But
Yeah.
I would.
Lindy, would you?
Honestly, I am in that train where I think Devontae Smith is the number one receiver. It's hard. It's hard to not throw to a guy that is one of the most elite route runners in all of
Yeah, but
football that can get
if
himself open.
if you take AJ Brown away, the double team's not there on AJ Brown, it's on Devontae Smith.
Well, he still can. Devontae.
I mean, I don't know who
but
you don't have another. Who's your number two after you get rid of AJ Brown? You know what I mean? You
remember,
say he's the number one, but who's the number two of it?
Well, remember in 2021 when Devontae was a rookie and the number 2 and the number 3 were Jalen Reagor and Quez Watkins, and Devontae still contributed to have almost, if not over, 1,000 yards.
Yeah.
And that was Jalen's first year as a starter. So Devontae's more than capable of being a number one receiver because you're not going to – it's – again, it's a subjective conversation, and there's way too many factors that you have to include in there because it's
even talk about
it absolutely matters who's on the other side because there's going to be cases where defenses cannot double somebody the entire game. Otherwise, if someone is capable, they're going to continue to get open.
Yeah, like AK said right here.
Chris Olave, yes.
Yeah, someone like that, you're fine.
Yeah.
I love Devontae Smith. He's my favorite player in the league.
Chris Olave would be a good number 2. And if you had Devontae Smith, like I'm saying, who is your number 2 that is going to be next to him? Okay, yes, he can be a number 1. But who's his number 2?
So, hypothetically speaking, I'm saying that loudly halftime. Hypothetically speaking, if we do trade AJ Brown, would you feel comfortable with Devontae Smith as being your number 1?
Yes.
Okay. That's all I want.
Eagles fans were before.
It's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen, but I just wanted to say that. I just wanted to say hypothetically speaking.
I mean, why are we like hypothetically, if you got rid of AJ Brown?
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And you're saying Devontae Smith is your number 1. My question to you is, who's your number 2?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Who is your number 2? Like, if you get rid of AJ Brown, you have to get something for him. Just don't let him walk and get fucking nothing for him.
So if we
want to get rid of him, but not get nothing for him.
If we
get something for the man.
If we do, hypothetically, if we do trade AJ Brown, you got to keep Goddard. You have to keep Goddard if you trade AJ Brown.
Keep Goddard because he's injury prone, and they're going to go for somebody younger. Maybe in the draft, or maybe go to the guy for the Atlanta Falcons, which they
Kyle
were talking.
Kyle Pitts.
Yeah, Pitts. Yeah.
AK said that a while ago. AK said that.
I mean, like,
AK, when did you say that? At the beginning of the season or in the middle?
he said that in the beginning of the season, so
In the
that's why I
beginning?
brought it up. But I'm
Okay.
just saying, Goddard's not the answer no more. And you had to move on from Goddard because he's making too much money and he can't stay healthy.
AK,
You got to look at the health issue too.
AK,
What's
there's
up?
no
We have
way
a
the
lot of
Saints
moves to
trade
make.
Olave.
Like everybody wants to trade AJ Brown, but you got a right tackle that you have to worry about. And Lane Johnson, is he going to
Contemplating
retire?
retirement. Yep.
And can he stay healthy? See, trading AJ Brown, that's one move. But you have too many moves to make to figure out that one move. Because you have Lane Johnson to think about. You got Goddard to think about. You got that whole defense has to be re-signed. Everybody's like, trade AJ Brown. You have more shit to fry in this friggin' on this team than just worry about AJ Brown.
Yeah, AJ Brown is not the number one thing. For me, the number one thing is offensive line. That's for me.
And
That's for me.
I got to worry about Lane Johnson. He can't stay now. Lane Johnson has some health issues. You got to get somebody backed up that can take his spot when he wants to retire.
Blaze, that's exactly right. I mean, if that's the standard for Pittsburgh after hiring McCarthy, that's pretty sad.
Yeah, because
so
Vic,
bad.
Because Vic said it right here. Vic is the Steelers fan. He's like, I need the Steelers to win 5 games or less to get a top 5 pick.
Yeah.
And then Blaze responded with that. So,
no way that's Mike Tomlin's mentality if he was still there. There is no way he's thinking that.
No.
It's just kind of like, I would never have thought that Pittsburgh would get Mike McCarthy. I thought they would go after like a Notre Dame head coach or something like that.
I
Did
wanted
he go
him.
to Arizona? I think he went to Arizona.
I think I saw him go to Arizona.
Maybe he did.
I wanted him as the offense. I wanted him for the Eagles offensive coordinator and him get the but also say, hey, yo, you can get the head coaching job next year or something. That's what I would have done.
Yeah.
Give him that option, you know what I mean? But I wanted him.
You wanted him? Yeah. You told me that a while ago. Like, for me, I guess we gotta wait and see how it goes for Sean Mannion. We gotta wait and see how it goes with that. Yeah, Lenny?
AK, are you talking about Jonnu Smith or Darnell Washington?
What, the shaman?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I don't know if it's Darnell Washington because he's only 24 and Pittsburgh's going to want to keep him. So I'm thinking he's talking about Jonnu Smith here. But Jonnu and Dallas are not too far apart in terms of age. So if he's talking a backup tight end, he's probably speaking Jonnu Smith here. But again, we're saying backup tight ends. That means if you don't draft a tight end high in this class, then are you making Calcaterra the number one when he has a really hard time blocking? Or are you making a 30-year-old Jonnu Smith the number one? That's just when Jonnu Smith isn't when he's, well, I don't want to say nowhere near, but he's not as good of a tight end as Dallas is. Even with Goddard at 33 years old, I believe.
Yeah, but
Goddard is still
Goddard
better.
can't stay healthy is the issue.
Yeah.
I mean, I know nobody wants to look at that. They don't think about that part, but it's $1 billion freaking business. It ain't like, hey,
right,
we're sitting here on our computers and just wishing shit up.
Yeah, that does speak to his value though indirectly. So despite his injury issues, if you're talking a backup tight end, Dallas in missing out on 5 or 7 games is still better than a guy like Jonnu Smith. So that's just how good he is, regardless of how many games he misses. So yeah, I mean, ultimately, if you're going to be in this hypothetical where AJ Brown's not here anymore, your big bodied receiver is going to have to come from the tight end position.
Yeah.
Because at that point, you're going to have your field general receiver that can run every single route, and Devontae Smith, and he's going to do a lot of the hard work in terms of that. The number 2 on the opposite end is going to have to be some sort of burner to take the top off the defense and have the safeties focus on him. So in that regard, yeah, it sounds like a great balance, but
That's why I said you can't just get rid of AJ Brown. Like everybody.
No, in no universe is trading AJ Brown a good idea. There's no universe. Not even for the previous comment with AK talking about trading him to the Saints for Chris Olave. Number one, the Saints with Kellen Moore, they're not going to want to. Kellen is not going to want to get rid of weapons, take away weapons from Tyler Shuck for the promise that he provided towards the end of the year. Like there was there was people on Twitter talking about Tyler being in the rookie of the year conversation in only 2 games of playing. Like, wait a minute, no, that's not going to happen.
Yes.
But that's outside the point. But the fact of the matter is, when you have an aging receiver who had a down year that's getting paid upwards of more than $25 million, and you're going to ask the Saints to take upon that contract, and you don't know where AJ is mentally in terms of his dedication, that's too much of a gamble for them, especially if Chris Olave is on the table. So there's no way I see that happening for both sides. But ultimately, it is nowhere near a good decision for the Eagles to give up AJ Brown. It just isn't.
Yeah. So Eagles fan,
and it's going to hurt the freaking salary cap because you could split it in between 2 years.
Okay. Tucker Kraft. Okay.
But okay, everybody's like, you can split his salary cap between 2 years, but you have other people to worry about, and people are not looking at that. They're like, oh, we'll just get rid of him and split him in 2 years. Well, what about the rest of the people that you got to pay for? And that's why it's going to hurt us if we do that stupid shit.
So,
like you said, and like how you said it, it's who's going to be your big man? Who's going to be your, you know what I mean? Yes. Even if you have Devontae Smith as your number 1, who's going to be the big man? Like, yes, he's a good route runner and all that. But who's your big man? And that's why it's harder to say to get rid of somebody than it ain't. Like it's easier we can sit here and talk about it, but it's harder on them to pull the trigger.
Yeah.
Oh, it's $1 billion industry too. You know what I mean? Like, come on, like, what we doing?
Yeah.
Well, so the problem, not to say that it is a problem, because being opinionated in this way is fine when you're talking about the Mannion hire, because that is the biggest talking point across the fan base, such as Eagles fan was talking about. He's not a fan because he has no play calling experience. Well, in conjunction to that, that's part of the purpose of bringing in Josh Grizzard. So there's a stronger collaborative effort there. And we were just in this position where with Kevin Patullo. But I think the biggest difference is that Mannion.
We also was in this position when we had
Brian Johnson.
Jalen Hurts' daddy's best friend that he had milky cookies with, and everybody was like, "What the fuck is this?" So, like, can't keep going to the same well over and over again. It's not, shit ain't gonna work. And I get people's points. People not thinking it's gonna work because we keep on doing it and it's not working.
Well, like you said in the beginning of the show, and it ties into the biggest difference between Kevin and Sean Mannion is the fact that Sean has already been a quarterback in this league. So he's he's experienced it firsthand in terms of offensive operation, being on the field, going through progressions, getting your getting your receivers set. Maybe calling audibles here and there, switching plays up at the line of scrimmage. Sean has gone through a lot of those, especially for as good as he was at the collegiate level from Oregon State, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's where he came from. Again, he was good enough to the NFL to be a third round pick, to whereas I don't believe Kevin has had any prior experience in the NFL in that regard. So it plays as a benefit to Sean for the fact that he's going from quarterback to quarterback's coach. And one of the bigger factors is the type of offenses that Sean was in to begin with. Guys under the Kyle Shanahan coaching tree, Sean McVay, coming from Matt LaFleur. Again, the Packers brass talking very highly of him, that he's head coaching material. So, I mean, through as far as all that's concerned,
awesome. He's like Carson Wentz should be a head coach then.
By all means, AK, if you want to go down that route,
like everybody just gotta pump your brakes about the guy because nobody knows nothing about him.
Yeah,
and it's
I
like,
know.
all right, well, he was a head coach. I mean, he was a quarterback. Like AK said, he's saying, well, Carson Wentz was a coach, like a quarterback. Doesn't mean he's going to be a good coach. Doesn't mean he can call plays. Doesn't mean he knows how to read a defense and get his guys in the right position.
Well, the primary focus is the contrast between him and Kevin Patullo. That his prior quarterback experience is going to serve him a little more well than Kevin in that regard. Not really from a schematic and organization and play calling perspective, but more of a connection perspective to the quarterback that he's supposed to be helping.
Well, but it's still not. I mean, you're hoping. That's all it is a big hope.
Yeah, it's all on paper at this point right now. It's on paper.
We're going to the wishing well. Like that's the problem because we couldn't get any offensive coordinators that we really wanted. We're going, all right, this is the only guy that wants to take the job because of Nick Sirianni or a Jalen Hurts is the issue why nobody wanted to come here. How do you not, you just won a Super Bowl. How do you not get any offensive coordinator in here besides Sandman?
Are you thinking about Sandman every time now?
Oh, he's Sandman for the whole year.
AK to Carson's credit, he was good for almost 2 full seasons. Now, again, that's underachieving, but when you were as good as you were in 2017, and then being put in the position you were in 2019, throwing to guys that were Walmart employees, I don't want to revisit the 2019 season because that was just egregious roster management and not giving Carson enough weapons because it was Zach Ertz or bust at that point. But I digress.
Like Don McNabb era. I mean, Don McNabb never got the weapons over it until he got T.O. and then he went over and went to the Super Bowl with T.O. with a number 1 wide receiver. He finally got one, and then he went to the Super Bowl. No, I'm not saying, you know what I mean? But
I just want to say that Blade said I'm right, so I'm going to take a screenshot of this. So if he can call me like, hey, you said I was right.
Although that is a Captain Obvious moment, just based on recent history.
It is, but I just had to say Blade said I'm right.
The only hope we can have with that is that Eagles fans don't egg his house.
One time.
I do not want
one time. Love you, Blaze. Yeah. So you were saying, Lindy?
Well, AK, that's easy to say because that's after the damage was done. And for everything that we know in Eagles history, Carson never recovered. So I don't think that's a legitimate point to make. Just that's just my opinion.
So really quick, I want to talk about Bill Belichick because I know people are kind of mad that he did not get in, and people are mad that he or happy that he did not get in on the first ballot. I know
Yeah, I
halftime
thought
it's
that was
happy in
I
like
don't.
all
No,
of
I don't
hell.
give a fuck. I don't give a
Oh,
fuck.
okay. Because on the
No,
phone you're like, he cheated. He's a
does
cheater.
he deserve to be in there? No, because he cheated. No, listen. He ain't cheat once. He didn't cheat twice. He cheated multiple times. Stealing headsets, stealing playbooks. I mean, like, how does a coach keep on stealing shit and decide it's okay? Videotaping people. And if you want to blame the Flakegate on Tom Brady because he's the one throwing the balls, he wanted to pressurize it. I mean, like, let's get real.
oh man.
I mean, but
Please.
what should have happened was if he got stripped of the Super Bowl, saying, "Hey, you cheated. We're taking the Super Bowl from you." It'd be a
Hi,
different
Wally.
story. Everybody would be like, "Oh my God, he cheated," and now
Yes,
they
please, thank
lost
you.
They don't get the trophy.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's one thing I heard a couple of days ago is that it used to be a method for teams to have an advantage over one another. It's at one point almost everybody was doing it. It's just the fact that it was carried on for so long that Belichick eventually ended up getting caught. So the NFL
Problem.
in
He's the
a
one
more
that got
modern
caught,
age
but he's
is
the one
so
that got caught. Nobody else got caught to this magnitude that he's getting caught stealing playbooks, stealing headsets. He's the one getting caught. If everybody's done it, hold on, man. Everybody keeps on saying everybody in the NFL has done it. How come he's the only one getting caught? Well, if he's the one getting caught, he has to get reprimanded. But then again, Tio didn't do nothing wrong. He didn't like talking to the media. Was he a first ballot Hall of Famer? No. Should he have been? Yes.
Okay,
But
so AK apparently killed 5 people. I get what you mean, AK. I get what you mean.
yeah, like
So,
I mean, like
hey,
AJ. I mean, you look at Tio. Tio did not get in the Hall of Fame. First ballot Hall of Famer. First ballot Hall of Famer all day long, every day. He didn't get in because he didn't like talk to the media. He didn't fucking obey to the media's little problems.
so,
I mean, I do think that if everybody keeps on saying everybody cheats, every team cheats, how come Bill Belichick's the only one that got caught? And everybody goes, well, this is bullshit. It should be in there. Like, oh, you don't see Mike Smith in the goddamn. I mean, you don't see Pete Rose in the goddamn Hall of Fame. He gambled when he wasn't playing baseball. I mean, I mean, I get it, but I get people getting upset. But like I said about the Hall of Fame, they're letting anybody in. They're letting players that shouldn't be in right now in for players that already should have been in.
So Lindy, do you think he should have got in?
Huh?
Lindy.
The biggest takeaway for me with this entire situation is that too often feelings get in the way of resumes when it comes to the Hall of Fame voters, and I think this is just another example of it.
But he cheated.
Regardless of the fact, well,
Lindsay,
that's the thing. He's not the only one
steroids.
that did it.
It's like doing steroids and he's cheating, taking advantage of. Like if people are always saying a player that did steroids doesn't deserve to be in the Hall of Fame, right? How is it okay? And they're not on the Hall of Fame because they cheated. They took an advantage of something. They did steroids, cheating. Any which way you want to look at it, that's why you know how to do steroids. Cheating, you're taking an advantage of the other teams and other players and all that. All of a sudden, Bill Belichick cheats, and it's okay. We bow to you for cheating. You cheated so good. Like, what are we doing?
Well, I would say what also doesn't get talked about is that Bill was already writing a Hall of Fame resume even before he was a head coach because he was a fantastic coordinator for all those years before he got the opportunity with the Patriots.
It's like Barry Bonds.
I love how you said Barry Bonds, but you blatant said that.
Barry Bonds, at the end of his career, needed to use steroids to get back in it. Then he took steroids, and now he's not in the Hall of Fame. So, what are we doing here? Like, you're trying to give him leadway of breaking the rules. And it's okay. It's all right because you were already going to be in the Hall of Fame, so it was okay. Well, how come Barry Bonds ain't in the Hall of Fame?
So let me ask you guys this then: is Tom Brady going to be your first ballot?
They're probably going to give Tom Brady a first ballot Hall of Fame. But how do you do it when he got caught cheating too, right with Belichick?
I think he's going to. Brady's going to be a first ballot. Like, come on now.
You got to blame the Deflategate. Because there he is.
You're breaking
his phone because he didn't want nobody to read his text message that he was demanding about the balls being deflated. This is the issue when you want to talk about the Hall of Fame.
You're treading deep waters with Tom for how the Belichick situation is being handled right now. Because those two have been in tandem for how many years?
That's right, because they're both together, side by side.
Yeah, but Brady's going to be a Hall. Brady got to a Super Bowl without Belichick.
You don't think that Tom Brady knew that Belichick was listening in other teams' play calls? You don't think Tom Brady knew that here's the playbook? He wasn't left in the dark. He wasn't left in the dark.
I mean, that's the question there in saying that it doesn't define all of their careers. So you have to ask the question, did
he cheated so much it wasn't like 1 year. It was years.
Well, for the two of them, you have to ask the question: Did everything that they accomplish was it solely because of cheating, or did they accomplish what they did outside of cheating too?
But it was cheating involved, so you can't. You're just making an assumption that everything's gonna be fine if you took the cheating away. How do you know if you didn't take the cheating away? It was cheating involved in every year that they won a Super Bowl. Every year they won a Super Bowl, they cheated during the year. So they might not make the playoffs, or you don't know. You can't just randomly go, just take that away, and that game didn't matter. Well, if you put an L in that game, you know what I mean?
Did the Patriots try to cheat against us in Super Bowl 52?
Not
that I remember.
There wasn't. It didn't say they was cheating. But was there cheating, Lindsay, in that year? Yes. They cheated against Miami.
Salute, man.
I mean, that's the thing. Like, everybody's taking the cheating like it's no big deal anymore. Well, then give me Barry Bonds in the Hall of Fame, fuckers. Give me goddamn.
I thought he was in the Hall of Fame.
If it don't matter about cheating, give me fucking Clemens in the goddamn Hall of Fame. How come we can't get
Oh,
guys in
man.
the Hall of Fame that deserve?
Did you see what Blade said halftime?
Yeah.
Revenge is
Why do
sweeter
people
than the
do
first
that? It
loss.
doesn't make sense to me. It's like
Sure.
they want to throw it out. It's Bill Belichick, and he would have been in the Hall of Fame. Barry Bonds would have been in the Hall of Fame then.
To be honest, I thought he already was.
No, he's not. He's not in the Hall of Fame because of steroid use at the end of his career.
I thought he
already in the
already
Hall of
was,
Fame.
despite that. Despite that, I thought he already was.
Yeah, he's not in the Hall of Fame.
Halftime. What do I always say when it comes to baseball? I don't know baseball. No, I'm not gonna
But I mean, like,
say that.
yes, but this is one of my tussy subjects. It's like if you steal, if you cheat, it's okay. You've been your whole life when you went and grew up and you fucking playing sports. It was
Yeah.
not to cheat. They told you not to. Now all of a sudden, everybody goes, "Oh, good job, Belichick, for cheating. Good job." Like, come on.
I think the biggest thing against Bonds is the fact that he was already historically great even before the steroids.
He was
So
a
the
Hall.
question,
He was going in the Hall of Fame.
okay, so the question is, like, you ruined that opportunity by needing it at the end of your career when you didn't in the first place.
Okay.
Well,
All right,
speaking of
wait.
steroids,
So
hold on.
guess what?
Speaking of
Every
hold
Super
on.
Bowl that the Patriots won, they cheated in that year.
Well, speaking of steroids, this
So
just happened actually.
if they
Halftime.
if they cheated against Miami or in that year, or they cheated against the Jets or wherever they cheated to, stealing playbooks, stealing headsets, all this. That's cheating in the whole year.
Hold on. Halftime. You're gonna laugh. So you were talking about cheating and steroids? Well, Sixers star Paul George suspended for 25 games for violating the NBA anti-drug policy.
Nuh-uh.
I'm not
Right now?
joking. It just happened.
Right now.
Unreal.
God. What the
Unreal. Wow.
I blame
Sucks for-
halftime. I
sucks
blame
for the
halftime
Sixers.
for that one. I blame halftime for that one.
Hey, yo, Paul George, you can play. You're allowed to do steroids. It's not cheating no more. Like, what are we doing, man? Like, people that are not are upset that Bill Belichick is not in the friggin' Hall of Fame for cheating. Crazy to me.
Halftime Kings and Sixers. Way to go, halftime.
Sixers is going.
To AK's point, that is a lot more relevant in basketball than other sports, in my opinion. To a degree, that's very relevant to basketball.
And let me read it real quick. Exactly where on it. Oh, yep. It is more effective basketball. Yep. Oh my God. Yeah, pretty much. Paul George hits 9 threes and then failed a drug test.
9 threes and failed a drug test.
Duh.
Yo, Lindsay, what they're saying to you is the why he hit 9 threes is because of steroids. If somebody blink on Lindsay, on defense, how easy is it that I know your play? Right? I know your play. I know what guy's going to be open because I know where to set my guy because he's going to be wide open. Tom Brady just throw it to this guy, and that's it.
Did that happen in Super Bowl 53 where the Patriots only scored 13 points against the Rams?
What's that?
Did that happen in Super Bowl 53 when the Patriots only scored 13 against the Rams?
Wasn't that Spygate in the Super Bowl? The walkthrough that they fucking videotaped the Rams all their plays? Yeah. If I steal somebody's play and I know what they're gonna do, guess what? It's gonna be easier to win.
Halftime is now a Patriots
That,
fan.
that,
I'm not a
Uh,
Patriots fan. I just
well-
want Belichick to hate it and bring it all fame.
judging by that mentality, then that Super Bowl should have been a blowout. Patriots only won by
They
3
are
points, and it was a
NFL.
low-scoring game.
Lindsay, they are NFL players.
Yeah, but if
They're NFL players.
but what I'm saying is
I
if
just
the
know where you're
cheating
gonna be.
contextually, if the cheating gives you that much of an advantage, then that Super Bowl should not have been as competitive as it was.
Lindsay, are you trying to say it's okay to cheat?
No, that's not what I'm
Because
saying.
that's what you just said. Because you're just saying, well, it should have been a blowout then. Like, it's okay to cheat here and here.
No,
It's not okay
no,
to cheat. I don't care what game.
it's the regard of that Belichick was not the only one to do it in the past.
Belichick is the only one that got caught. Say it again. See, this is what people are not understanding. He's not the only one that done it. He's the only one that got caught. If the Philadelphia Eagles, Lindsay, Buddy Ryan, I don't care what coach, Andy Reid, I don't care which coach you wanted, say we cheated, right? And he wasn't a first ballot Hall of Famer.
I would say the point is,
it got me a ring. I don't care, lie, cheat, steal, whatever you got to do. But guess
I would
what?
say
That's what you
I would
just
say
did.
the point is, and I'm pretty sure head coaches have talked about this or other NFL brass from decades ago. The point is that in those times it was not considered cheating, but over time through modernizing the sport, then all of a sudden it is considered cheating. So where are you drawing the line then?
Well, the rules are the rules. They make rules, right? Do they got a rule? They got rules for doing it.
That's what I'm saying though. Like they were okay with it before, but all of a sudden they're not okay with it now. So it's either they're
before you were born.
It's either. Well, it doesn't matter if it was before I was born because it's called research.
I mean, but guess what? Rules change. They add more rules every year.
That's what I'm saying. It's the regard as to whether they stretched the boundaries too far of it or not. That's what it sounds like to me.
But then again, you should be able to hit the goddamn quarterback, and you're not allowed now. You got to freaking baby that quarterback. See, they changed the rules of the game to make it offense more, or whatever. But they always change rules every year to make it better. They make rules to make it better. They're trying to better the game, and they make rules. If you get caught cheating,
biogenesis.
Yeah, right. Right. What's up, Lou? Oh my God, that was too funny. Anyway, yeah, he's gonna be in the Hall of Fame. I wonder when he's gonna get in, Belichick.
Oh, he's gonna be in the Hall of Fame. Probably next year because people are crying about it. But it's weird that people are okay with the cheating part.
Yeah, our two podcast take a judge now.
Well, then give me my fucking Hall of Famers, please. They deserve to be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, and how about this? Eli Manning didn't get in again.
Fuck, did he not get in?
He did not get in again.
He beat Tom Brady and the Patriots twice.
He did not get in. Lindy, Eli Manning should get in.
Everybody wants Belichick to be in. It's okay you cheated. I don't
I think
I don't
I think with
I don't
Eli,
understand it.
I think with Eli, it's more about a basis of consistency instead of your quality of wins. Like you can say that he beat the immortal Tom Brady 2 different times and they were
Back
undefeated
to
and they
back.
still lost in the Super Bowl and whatnot. But from an overall, like the big picture is that his entire career, uh in based on the voters and what have you, his entire career isn't Hall of Fame material. But those particular moments in time with those Super Bowl victories, those are the only 2 instances where he possibly is Hall of Fame material. But ultimately, because football is a team game, he wasn't the only one that contributed to winning those Super Bowls against the Patriots. So I would say it's more of the entire scope of his career versus his quality of wins.
Eli
And
will
that's why
get
he
in.
isn't yet.
It is see that's the thing though. Tom Brady will get in because he cheated, and he won't get in because he was just natural. And every year they got caught cheating at set or playbook or whatever it is. There's rules for a reason. I don't make the rules in the NFL. I'm just telling you, if there's a rule, is it okay to not obey by it?
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Doing steroids.
Yeah, Lou. Yeah.
You're allowed to do steroids. Then why is somebody getting punished for doing steroids if you're allowed to break the rules?
To Lou's point there in his first one, that's the same thing as saying with you know, and when I watch Dan Silio's show, the National Football Show, they call them Jalenites on there. That's like the Jalenites that talk about that Jalen Hurts is an elite quarterback because he got a Super Bowl MVP. Well, that's just in one it's in one
That's just
Super
one
Bowl
game.
game. So yeah, it's just one
Doesn't matter,
game.
but
It doesn't make him elite just because
you
because of
can't
that
just.
win.
But they're cheating is involved.
We
That's the thing. The big thing is there's cheating involved with Tom Brady behind the center or whoever it is. Jalen Knight, yes, he's the king of it, please.
He's also a beeper. Yeah.
Yeah,
his smoke det-
the
smoke detector
Jalen
goes
Colt
off.
members, the Jalenites. I mean, I take this season and the fact that he only threw 6 interceptions. He was like 25, 26 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. Okay, that's fine. That's like the one year where Aaron Rodgers was very conservative for Green Bay and that he only threw X amount of interceptions. It was less than 5 or so, but they didn't really win anything. I compare those 2 seasons to be almost exactly the same. But in all reality, if you look at how Jalen Hurts was statistically for 25, his QBR was only a 55. So he was 5 points above average. That's
Yeah.
not very good. For a Super Bowl winning quarterback, that's
That's
not the
that's
standard
like
you
a
want.
quarterback situation.
But again, it's the carefulness of your context and when it needs to be applied and when it doesn't to make your point. So that's to say, was the quarterback the biggest problem of the entire year for 25? No, but was he a contributing part of it? He absolutely was.
Right.
Lou-
Oh, here we go. Jalen Hurts is elite.
yeah.
I mean, he's
Jalen
not
Hurts
elite.
is really, really good at throwing the ball behind those receivers and getting his touch push. There you go, please. You're exactly right.
Dak Prescott does that more than Jalen does, to be fair.
In my opinion, Eli is better than Peyton. Eli has less to work with the team and physicality and still ended with the same amount of Super Bowls and beat Tom Brady, which Peyton never did. Payton just overshadowed Eli.
He does have a point there. He did have a point there. I mean, who did Eli have? Plexiglass?
Amani Toomer.
Plexiglass? And he got shot that year. He shot himself.
I'm still like,
See?
I mean,
He
that'd
shot
be
his
the exact
fucking self.
thing.
Oh, here we go.
Eli did not really have a wide receiver. He had plexiglass.
Yes,
Breaking
Nick,
news?
we already talked about it with
About
Paul George. We already talked about it with Paul George, and I blame halftime for that.
Nope.
Halftime.
Well, fortunately for me, Nick, that does not apply to me because I am a Luka Doncic stan, so I'm following him wherever he goes, pretty much. So him being on the Lakers, and I am kind of a Mavericks fan, although again, I don't want to get into it, but shout out to Cooper Flag for having such a historic game against the Hornets, even though they lost. That's the worst part. You have
Cooper Flag and Con Knipple. My God, that's going to be fun watching.
well,
years.
that should have been the expectation for them being roommates.
I forgot about that.
They were teammates together.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
What do I think about LeBum?
LeBron.
I mean, he's in his twilight years, the same way that Jordan was when he returned to basketball playing for the Wizards. It's almost the same to a degree, but LeBron has taken care of his body better than Jordan has, and Jordan those years he was dealing with a bunch of different tendonitis issues with his knees and I think in his wrists and what have you, but he was still dropping 40 and 50 point bombs on some of the strongest Eastern Conference teams. So if that doesn't hint to you that Jordan is the greatest of all time to me, then I would have to explain it more. But no, Jordan is my GOAT. That I thought I'd just put that out there.
You know who my GOAT is? I don't even think I ever told you this, Lindy. It was Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. That's actually mine over
fine.
LeBron. Yeah.
Yeah.
Jordan
Jordan was still playing 82 games at 40 and 41 years old. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah. And actually, we got a good question here. Is Phillip Rivers a Hall of Famer?
Not compared. I'm sorry, I'm reading a different comment.
No, you're good. I know I wasn't even alive. That was the best part. That was the best part.
That's a good one. That was a good one.
Shout out to Coach Ed for that one.
That's a good point, AK.
Oh yeah, halftime. Is Jim Kelly a Hall of Famer?
Jim Kelly's the biggest. You know why Jim Kelly is a Hall of Famer? Damn it! Because he had cancer. Love you.
The biggest benefit that Bill Russell had was the fact that he was playing in a league where there was only 9 teams.
Right.
So you were seeing the same opponents very, very consistently. But you can't fault him and his team because there was Hall of Famers on his team and all-star players. Like it wasn't just Bill Russell, much like the same thing for Jordan, that it wasn't just Jordan when they started their dynastic runs. But Bill Russell was able to take advantage of that with the Celtics for so many years. Especially getting in Wilt Chamberlain's way.
And Jim Kelly got in the Hall of Fame, and here you go. It was at his last time, his last chance, getting the Hall of Fame.
He's still a Hall of Famer.
Jim Kelly.
He's still a Hall of Famer.
Long. If everybody thinks Jimmy Kelly's a Hall of Famer, why is he at his last chance of getting the Hall of Fame?
The time was much working.
Oh, I know, Blaze. I know. I was just making I was just making a little entertainment out of it. Um, but again, when I made I made the comparison purposely because that's what it reminds me of. LeBron is what I'm saying is that certainly LeBron is still highly contributive, even at his age. And the biggest thing for him is his longevity on how well he's been able to take care of his body because he has not had a major injury since what was it, the 2020 season with the Lakers? That was really the only major injury that LeBron had in his entire career. So that's a massive kudos to him. Much like Jordan in 1984 when he broke his foot, and all of the team doctors suggested to him to sit out, and he goes into the playoffs with with nobody on his team and teammates taking cocaine, and he drops 63 points on one of the greatest teams of all time. So
Mhm.
And going to LeBron era and the Michael Jordan era,
Yeah, I
there's
blame
way
halftime
too
for
many
this
different
one.
eras. Listen, because of the Pistons and how good the other teams that Michael Jordan had to play against, they played defense
mhm.
a lot back in the day. I go Michael Jordan, but that's mine because he actually played when
Defenders
people
were
were
punching you in the
defending,
face.
not leaving people wide open. Here's a runway for you right there to bring him poop. You know what I mean? So everybody has their different opinions. Don't think LeBron's, it was a soft error for LeBron. If he had to do it in Michael Jordan's era, I don't think he would have done it as well. He
Oh,
wouldn't have got what he
Bleach.
got.
Oh,
No, I
Bleach.
mean, you you
PG's
have
on steroids, damn it.
halftime.
I blame halftime for that.
You you have to piss a team off so bad to make a book about you, the Jordan rules. I don't know. I don't know what else to say. You pissed the Bad
Yes,
Boy
yes.
Pistons off that
They had to
much.
make rules because
They
of
had to
Jordan.
make the
Like,
Jordan
come
rule.
on. Yes, I remember they made
Unreal.
rules about Jordan. Like that's me. Like this era, like I always say, is soft because they don't play defense like they did back in the day when Michael Jordan had to play. The defense was a lot harder. That's why Michael Jordan said, "Yo, give me fucking Dennis Rodman." You know why he wanted Dennis Rodman? Because he was hard to defend. He
Mhm.
played great defense. That's why Michael Jordan wanted Dennis Rodman, so he didn't have to face him.
Greatest rebounder of all time at his position.
Yes. I mean, like, if if LeBron James had to play in that era, but that's the problem. It's the different eras. How can you say one is better than the other?
The eras only carry you so far because I can easily say that if you switch Jordan and LeBron in their respected eras, Jordan would prosper a lot more in this age of the NBA
Yes.
than LeBron would in Jordan's era.
Yes.
That's why the comparison or contrast can only take you so far.
But I mean, Michael Jordan, he would have gotten way more points if he played in LeBron's era.
Mm. He was already doing
How can you
so.
say he did? How can
He
you
was
say
already
he
doing
did?
so. Well, Jordan was
It was like
already doing
even
so a couple of years
you
before
could
LeBron
even
even
ask,
showed up.
right? But you could even ask Iverson. Iverson said himself, if I played in this era, I could have got 50 every night. And that's Iverson. What is Michael Jordan getting? Like, come on. Like, that's me. Even
Michael
Iverson said it, though. Even Iverson said the way they played defense back in the day is way different than they do now. Even
Jordan's
Iverson-
best year in the late 80s, he averaged 37. That tells you all you need to know. 37. I think it was the
But that was better defense.
what year was it? 1987 or 1988.
But
He
that was
averaged
better
37.
defense. It was better defense. They don't play defense now.
You need to
Well-
go back and watch Michael Jordan.
Well, correction. Will Chamberlain did.
Yeah, Wilt did too. Yeah. He was he
Mhm.
was 50, he was 50 and 25.
Yeah.
But you know why?
And then he
you know why
averaged
he
like
did
what?
that?
How many assists did he average? Like 13?
You know
But yeah.
why Wilt averaged that many points though? Because he had 39 field goal attempts.
Yeah, and he
Yeah.
was dunking for the free throw line.
And in those times there was no 3-point line. So teams can only score 2 points back and forth. It was just 2-pointers. And Wilt was taking the majority of the field goal attempts for his team. I mean, that's kind of speaking the obvious, but
That kind of
again,
sense,
when you're averaging over 35 field goal attempts, so long as you're efficient, you're going to see those kind of numbers.
But like even you can go and you can look it up. Even Iverson said it. Who did he say? He said
I know he said it. I saw
think
it.
he said it to Shaquille O'Neal. Him and
Yeah.
Shaquille O'Neal was talking around, and they
Yeah.
asked. He goes, "In this era," he goes, "I would say I can get 50. I would average.
How much
50.
would Shaq? How much would Shaq get in this era? Jeez.
God.
All I know
He
is
would
Wemby.
dominate the basket.
All I know
Even
is
in this
that
era. This is like.
all
it's
I know is that
softer. I have to
Wemby
say it's softer.
would not want to be in the paint if Shaq was there.
Right.
That's all I know.
Yeah,
And
come on. Look at the
Wemby had a
play
hard time against Embiid. Embiid had 70 on him at one time. If I'm not mistaken, MJ was averaging 50 to 60 points a game during the 6-year stretch. Yep, he was dunking from a half.
I
From the
don't
free throw.
think so, AK. I don't think so. I do know that he has the highest points per game playoff average though in NBA history. 40 something in a single round
Sounds
because
about right.
he dropped a 50 burger and 2 40 burgers, and I don't remember which team.
You're
Yeah, but
making me
they-
hungry with all these
That's another
burgers.
thing.
You're
All
done
to
these burgers.
say about this day, like back in the day, they played defense. Now they don't. They leave people wide open.
Blazed again. It was 1987 or 1988. Jordan averaged 37 a game, and he was so dominant that towards the end of the season, his not Phil Collins, I think it's John Collins or something like that. Jordan's first coach, Coach Collins, experimented with him at the point guard position. And in 11 of the 14 games, he averaged a high 30s point triple double. So in that time frame, you mean to tell me that there isn't a stretch, not for an entire season, because that is very difficult, even for Jordan. I will give you that. But the fact that in the late 80s, Jordan's best scoring year was 37 a game in an era where even a common foul in this day and age would be a flagrant 1 or flagrant 2. So if he scored 37 in those times, you mean to tell me that in a smaller stretch in the modern NBA, he wouldn't average 50 a game?
Yeah.
He most certainly would.
Yeah,
He most certainly
Noobs,
would.
That is a
Not
good
for an
point.
entire season. Not
Yeah.
for an entire season. For an entire season, I do think he would average. I do think he would average close to 40. But I'm not going to be unrealistic about it. He would probably get. He would probably get 38 or 39. Just for the simple fact that because organizations like to load manage their best players, I don't know that despite Jordan being Jordan, he would play all 82 games.
Yeah, he's
but
not going to.
yeah, so
And he'll
that's why
have days off, so it ain't like he's playing every night.
Jordan would be the absolute closest to averaging 50 a game out of
But I mean, I'm
out of
just
out of
saying,
anybody.
even Irish, when I say that, and I know everybody wants to be out on, like you got to be. Iverson saying what he's saying is the defense are weaker than others. That's what it
Yeah.
you don't
3
even have
and
to
D,
throw the
yes, he
goddamn
did.
number out. It is back in the day, in the 80s, 90s, it had better defense than now. It ain't about the 50 or 60 damn points a night. It is about how weak this defense is now. Not as in the 80s and 90s. They had better defense.
All
So
right, guys.
that's
So-
the thing.
We actually got to start wrapping this up. Halftime's got to stream at 12:30. He's streaming the Flyers, so he's got to go get ready. Really appreciate you, Lindy, joining us and talking to Sit. Really appreciate it, man. Can't wait to do more.
Absolutely. I think this is one of the better episodes that I've been part of, especially coming back. I mean, between the topics, the comment engagement, everything was up there. Yeah, this was very good.
Yeah, and guys, if you haven't yet, please subscribe to Lindy Endzone. I'm gonna put the link in the chat again. The link. Give me 1 second here. And there's a new video of his on the network that is premiering right now. So you guys can see his video on the network right now. If you guys haven't, please subscribe to Lindy Endzone. He does Eagles content mostly. So any Eagles fans out there, make sure you subscribe to him.
Yeah, Blaze, I
And-
know the Flyers suck.
And by the way, I blame
I know.
halftime for
They
Paul.
went down. I
blame-
don't know.
Yeah, I blame halftime for Paul George. I blame
blame
halftime
me?
for Paul George.
You did have a strong manifestation at that point. There was a
Blame
very
me.
strong manefestation there.
Hey, listen.
Yeah, blame
It's just weird when fucking people do that.
Hey, halftime.
Mm.
All right,
Blame me
guys.
for everything. Damn.
All right, guys. We'll catch you all later. Like, share, subscribe. You'll see me at 2:00 for the WWE Royal Rumble. See you guys. Have a good one.
Yeah.
And
20
big
minutes.
halftime. I blame you.